Hello everyone and welcome to our weather update on June 30th, 2025. So the final day of June has arrived and June is closing on quite a cloudy and in some places quite a wet note as well. So today we've had heavy rain pushing into the west coast in the morning, and that has gradually pushed eastwards and northwards over parts of Westminster, Connacht, and also today just edging into parts of far northern and western Leinster as well. There is some convection along it, so there are some heavier bursts, and earlier there was a thunderstorm around 3 p.m. moving from North Clare towards South Galway. There was a storm there, just one flash of lightning, that was all, in a heavier pulse of rain. This rain will gradually push eastwards and northwards again this evening. I think that anywhere south of the line from Dublin to Dungarvan, between Cork and Waterford there, will have no rain at all. Well, very little, if any, rain. Just play that forward there. It's not going to reach anywhere south of that line, really. So staying dry for those areas, but elsewhere there'll be at least some, measurable rainfall. Satellite imagery. Also, just to mention that there might be some storms popping off if you live anywhere north on the east coast of England, anywhere north of Scarborough and Hull, that sort of area there. Anywhere north of there could see some storms this evening for a time before they move off towards the North Sea. So there is some convection there, and the radar does show a few showers. Those have popped off offshore, but wouldn't take much for a few to pop off, say, towards the Pennines and then push eastwards. Don't think there's a warning for them, but they might happen. Here is the UKV forecast. Once again, we are seeing heavy pulses of rain this evening in the north and west. Those will push eastwards overnight. Like I said, many areas of the southeast staying clear of it though. A few rogue storms forming. The UKV shows them forming mainly offshore, but just highlighting the risks, especially on the coast. You might just see a storm or two tonight, in the early part of the night anyway. Towards midnight and towards the early hours of Tuesday morning, July 1st, it stays cloudy in the east and a bit damp as well, but in the west the sky is clear and things might get chillier. This is a cold front, so behind that skies will clear off and cool down as well with there. And we have, over the past few days, remained on the periphery of a heat wave. So many areas that are currently in this clear slot here, from England to France, all the way east towards Finland, and down into Eastern Europe there, is a hot story. It's a hot story. Especially in the west of the clear area, where you've got the southerly winds. The highs of Europe there, southerly winds. Anyway, back to the story. Here is the UKV. So this cloud will clear towards tomorrow. Well, actually, the cloud will take quite a while to clear. So even tomorrow at lunchtime, still cloudy on the east coast. But by about 3 p.m, 4 p.m. in the afternoon, like I said, add on 1 hour to that time there. It's cloudy in the east till that point. Then once that's gone, a few showers will form, mainly in the south and east. A few might be heavy at times, but elsewhere it was dry with a mix of cloud and the sunshine. Into Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning, skies are clear from many areas, and I think that it'll be quite a cool night as well. Into Wednesday, sun gets going, and we see widespread showers there for a time on Wednesday. Not too heavy, but they'll be quite widespread, so you might see a few. Into Thursday morning, again, Thursday, sunshine showers, some heavy at times. Showers on Thursday look heavier than Wednesday's showers, especially in the east there, but all areas could see showers. Into Friday looks at first quite nice, some hazy sunshine, but then quickly enough by evening we got this rain pushing in from the west, and that leaves Saturday to be quite a drab day, quite breezy day as well, low to the north, and we've got these westerly winds piling in showery bursts of rain. So here is the temperature forecast from UKP. Today was a hot day in the UK and parts of Europe there. Temperatures well into the 30 Celsius. Into tonight, as I said, that's a cold front, so that will introduce a lowering in temperatures to around, by morning, around 10 to 13 degrees. Lows are about 5 a.m. because obviously that's when the sun rises. Into tomorrow, still hot for the far southeast of the UK actually. Wait, let's just go back here. As I said, that cold front will be slow moving, so it'll take a while for that heat to really clear up from the UK. It's amazing how much, like, I don't know, I think that's about 400 miles can do to the east, because I'm pretty sure that many parts of England have been sweltering since mid-June. We sweltered for a week in mid-June, but then it sort of leveled off into this last week of June. But yeah, moving on into the evening and overnight. As I said, quite chilly on Wednesday morning. Clear skies and cooler air mass, so lows of around, say, about 7 to 10 degrees. Still very, very warm for the southeast of England. Actually, I do want to say this as well. I missed out on this earlier while talking about the lows for tonight, but if you live anywhere like, like anywhere in like the British Midlands, southern England, like Norfolk, Lincolnshire, you're screwed tonight. Got lows above 20 degrees. I don't even know how that would be. Don't die. That's no, I couldn't handle that. Anyway, moving on. I guess that's a good thing about not being in a heat wave, is that we can actually function. Here going into Wednesday, highs in Ireland of around 17 to 20 degrees. Back to more average temperatures, westerly winds, and in the UK, much more sensible values there in the low to mid-20s, thank God. Into Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, again quite a cool morning with lows of around, say, 9 to 13 degrees. By Thursday afternoon, maybe a tad warmer than Wednesday. Into Friday morning, starts off chilly in the south, but the north getting a bit milder because of a refreshing breeze and incoming clouds ahead, of course, of that next system. Friday itself, getting warmer again, especially in the east of the country. Again in the UK, temperatures rising in Cambridgeshire, home counties, into Norfolk there, close to 30 Celsius. Just obviously because they're so close to the continent, that any sort of low pressure systems to the west that draws up the wind from a more southerly angle, heat will build. And then into Saturday morning, quite a warmish, mildish start there because of the cloud and rain. Saturday afternoon, highs for 15 to 19 degrees, that's west to east, in fresh to strong and gusty westerly winds and outbreaks of rain. Here is the GFS 12 run. So GFS, looking like this, got this trough coming through today, and that's bringing the rain. You see a big area of high to the east, very hot air, especially over Central and Western Europe. Beyond that, we're going into start of July. I think last Wednesday we mentioned that this high might ridge in. It's sort of doing it, but not enough. So while we do see while the first 3 days of July are more settles, they're by no means summary, because there's still a sort of weak trough over us, and that will generate some showers. Into Thursday, Friday, a brief ridge comes up, briefly nice for a time, a bit warmer as well. And that's what brings the temperatures again close to 30 Celsius in the UK. Just that ridge there, drawing up the wind from a more southwesterly direction, and that just does, and that does it. It's quite easy for them actually. Into Friday, we see that this next low coming in from the west that deepens over us. Saturday is wet, windy, soggy day. Sunday is cooler and showery. Goes into a northerly spell by Monday next week. That's interesting. And next Tuesday, Wednesday time, we see another ridge from the Azores high. Now, I don't know how seriously I'm taking that at this point. It's too far out. And I feel like there's a lot of energy towards our west and north. Either way, the GFS does build it in by next Friday, and if this is correct, we go into a prolonged warm and dry spell. And if this occurs in this fashion, we just see day after day of sunshine, cloudless skies. We all generate some homegrown heat, and temperatures will rocket. And if that happens in July, we easily see 30 Celsius in Midland counties. Here's the ECM midnight run. Midnight run was like this, so quite showery first few days of July, then briefly drier by Friday, but that's short lived. Deep low comes through over the weekend. That's a deep low, guys, and by next Monday we actually have northerly winds. It's quite uncommon in the summer, and beyond that, not really doing anything with the ridge, I wouldn't say. That's how I douse it as well. Here's the 12th run as far as it goes so far. So again, tomorrow is showery, so is Wednesday. Thursday, I think showery still, but the high is ridging in, so I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure that showers on Thursday will be as widespread as the UK view show, put it that way, just due to how close that high is. And then pushing to Friday, next low deepens and pushes in. Saturday and Sunday are both quite damp, wet days with rain and showers at times. Unfortunately, we can't see what happens with that ridge later on into the run. Like, ideally, I'd do it later, but I'd be tired if I do it past 8 o'clock. I know myself. Here is the UK Met run, and I must be on form for these, because I think I already messed up enough. Here is the UKV. The UKV, actually, let's see Thursday. Yeah, I don't know why it's seeing so many showers on Thursday with that high being so close to us. Maybe it's because, the upper temperatures are actually quite chilly on Thursday, so that would generate a lot of convection and a lot of instability in the atmosphere, and that would allow convection to take off. Let's just look at this. Thursday does look quite cool, so I think that's why, despite the high being close to us, we see showers. Really cool in terms of upper air temperatures. Obviously on the ground it'll be quite warm, close to 20 degrees. Actually, sorry, I want to look at that again. Imagine, so it's showing upper temperatures of like 4 degrees, and on the ground they're a good 15 degrees warmer than that. So a lot of convection. Anyway, here's a GEM. GEM once again looking at a showery and cool, quite coolish. First few days of July. Brief ridge, but that doesn't last. That's the ridge that we thought would ridge in, but it's not doing that anymore. It's gone. And instead we get a deep low. Of course we do. The westerly beyond that, no northerly really. And like the GFS, there's a slight ridging taking place there by next Thursday, but deep lows, jet stream to the west and north. I'm not sure how far that will get. Here's the icon. The icon going cool and showery for the first 3 days of July, as we know. Thursday, upper air temperatures are chilly, so yes, that will generate a lot of convection. 12 p.m. Thursday, upper temperatures of around 3 or 4 degrees. The temperatures on the surface go 15 degrees warmer, so that's the reason why. And then beyond that, deep low moves in right over the country like an unwanted guest to bring a lot of heavy rain, very showery and quite cold to end the icon run. Northerly wind by next Tuesday. And finally, here's the arpege, yes. Once again, tomorrow, quite slack breezes, but showery. And with Wednesday and Thursday. Friday starts off quite hazy, but we end up wet. And by next Saturday, we are looking thoroughly, dare I say it, wet. Yes, anyway, that's a forecast for today. So in summary, July starts off showery, then goes very unsettled. Next week starts off unsettled, but very subtle hints. Subtle and unreliable hints, should I say, of ridging. We'll see how that goes. Bye for now.